We have Gavin and Milo right now. I'm actually pretty starstruck. Gavin, Milo, can we get to them?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Surely by him.
This is an honor to have you guys.
Who are you starstruck by, me or Nero?
Well, both. The combination, of course. I mean, look at Nero, looking fantastic.
I feel like greater than the sum of our parts.
Yeah, that's true.
Fresh
it's sort of like
highlights.
in court, a judge will say, look, there's something about you two together that's just trouble. So part of my sentencing...
I know you're guilty. I know you're guilty. There's no preponderance of the evidence. There's no reason.
Part of my sentencing is you two can never be together again. That's part of your probation.
You have a restraining order against each other for the good of the American public.
So let's just explain what we're doing today. At 2 p.m., we're doing a press conference in Orlando, and you are going to announce to the world what exactly?
Well, I'm going to deliver some of the talk that I was supposed to give at the University of Central Florida before the police shut me down because they couldn't guarantee my safety. Now, this is a city, by the way, that has hundreds of officers swarming every mosque in town.
Yeah.
You know, protecting them against, I don't know, name-calling.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to get to.
We can't have any Islamophobia because that's a hate crime.
Right, that's what's really going on here. They've got guys on the top of the roof right now at that school, snipers.
Yeah, they've got snipers.
And they're saying they can't guarantee your safety, so that's a lie, right? That's bullshit.
Well, one of two things. Either they really can't guarantee my safety against Islamist weirdos and lunatics, or, as is, you've been doing this for as long as I have now, and you know as well as I do that more often than not, the police lie more than they tell the truth.
Right.
To give themselves an easy life, and no disrespect to the boys on the front line who are the real heroes, but the suits upstairs, just want an easy life. So they didn't want me there, and then the university started playing silly beggars. So you couldn't even talk about my talk because the university cancelled the room in which I was going to give a press conference today about various things. So yeah, anyway, we're going to go down to ground zero instead.
So wait a minute. Now, you had the talk. You were going to do the talk in one place. They canceled it. They said they couldn't guarantee your safety. So you wanted to do a press conference, but at the same school.
The same school, different place, but then the university cancelled that, saying, the room is no longer available.
Amazing. Scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've got like a team of whatever 20 people here, and we've all flown in and everything. Anyways, we started to get a bit. What are we going to do? So we're going to go down to ground zero, Pulse nightclub, and I'm going to give it some of the speech I would have given about Islam and homosexuality, and then talk a little bit about the media's response to this crisis and to this attack, and what it says about how committed they really are to protecting gay people. Because it seems to me that progressive politicians and the majority of the media are more concerned with virtue signaling to each other than doing anything that's going to protect people from this happening again. And I just want to remind people, I suppose, I'm coming from Europe. I'm a Brit. I have seen where this leads, the Islamization of local communities, vast numbers of Muslim migrants. I've seen where it leads, and it's not a happy place, and I don't want that for America. This is the greatest country in the world. So use me as your canary in the coal mine, and let me show you briefly this afternoon at 2:00 what is going to happen to America if you haven't got it already from the events here of the last week.
Yeah.
Let me show you where you're headed if you don't start to tell the truth between the link, about the link between, Islam and terrorism. If you don't start to tell the truth about the fact that Muslims don't like gays very much. Like, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but it apparently is a surprise to the entirety of our esteemed media.
And it's so strange. You have all these gays like Sally Cohn and Rachel Maddow and Dan Savage.
But they're all lesbians, you see. Dan Savage, I don't know how. Dan Savage sort of...
he's mad about being bullied in school.
Accidentally got a penis at birth. but all three of these people are lesbians. Sally Cohn is the stupidest woman in America. She is the dumbest woman in America. And I know that she's up against some stiff competition, We've got Rachel Maddow, as you mentioned. We've got... What's the other terrible one who lost her show recently?
Well, lesbians are cunts. For the most part, and they have an axe to grind, and it must be because they're not getting laid.
Because they don't have penises in their life.
Yeah.
No, but I mean seriously. Look, I have a view on this. My theory is that the best sex is gay sex because it involves two penises.
Right. I can see that.
And it's like the most macho thing. You're not just fucking some woman. You're fucking another dude.
Yeah, but it goes in your bum.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, there's other... Anyway, so that's like the best, most macho, most manly sex.
Okay.
Gay sex.
Sure.
Followed by
we'll float you that.
Followed by heterosexual sex, which is perfectly fine. And lastly, you've got
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to bust out the double dong every single night, and that's where you get lesbian bed death, LBD.
Yes.
But anyway, we're off on a tangent here. What drives me nuts?
Okay. This double-headed dildo, they don't get any use after the first month. At all.
That's a fact.
And the other, one of the ways in which you know that lesbianism isn't real and is really just a manifestation of female misery are some of the things that go along with it. The lesbian obesity crisis, the lesbian domestic violence, lesbian bed death, the extraordinary lesbian depression epidemic. Lesbians aren't happy. And all of the research shows, all the studies show that women have much more malleable sexuality than men. They're far more likely to waft in and out of relationships with women. They switch between the two in their lifetimes.
Well, women are more attractive than men.
Lesbianism is a choice. And I would like women to be happy, so I don't want them to make that choice. I want them to choose to be straight.
So you think being a gay male is not a choice?
Correct.
But being a gay female is a choice?
Yes.
And isn't it funny, by the way, with this bi thing? They're always bi in college when everyone's attractive.
Yeah.
Why are you bi when you're 70?
When I want to fuck you. But there's no reason to suppose that female homosexuality would be anything like male homosexuality. Men and women, after all, are radically different.
Right.
Biologically, psychologically, very different. The left has been telling us otherwise for 30 years, but the left is full of shit. And the left doesn't listen to science. Men and women are different. Is it so strange to imagine that male and female homosexuality might be different? Of course not. And they are different.
Why is the gay response here? Why is the liberal narrative and the liberal narrative
response
more tolerant of Islam than what is safe for human beings? It's like the narrative is more important than human life. And I understand Muslims saying that, but when gays say it and when liberals say it, you go, you're literally putting life below the narrative.
It's because they hate the West. Because
I guess it is.
The extent to which gays have sucked up the progressive liberal narrative. Feminists and progressives and social justice warriors, like Muslims, for this, because all of the above hate the West. They don't like democratic, free capitalist society.
But when you look at Orlando, you go, okay, you hate the West? Here's what happens when we switch out us with them. You get shot to the tune of 49.
Well, it's worse than that. I mean, it's even more obvious than that. Look, there are countries in which women have equal rights, where gays, can get married, where everyone can pretty much do what they want and be what they want and live as they like. What are those countries? Liberal Western democracies.
Yes.
Liberal in the classical sense. These are free countries with free speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement, freedom of thought and expression, capitalism, property rights, all of these things. Why? Because the market drives equality, because it's good for everybody if anybody has access to education and the workplace, obviously. So capitalism and the market drives equality better than anything else anywhere else in the world, better than any religion, better than any political ideology. Capitalism drives equality. When you see these insane people making excuses for the worst Islamic regimes, God knows where else in the world, bashing America, the greatest country in the world, failing to recognize that it is precisely the things they hate about America that have driven gay rights, precisely the things they hate about America that have given women the vote and emancipation and equal access to education, and yes, the same wages as men, and no campus rape culture. Did you know, by the way, the Washington Post today, I just saw it, they said that according to 2014 government statistics, they took about 2,200 American colleges, and 1,600 of those colleges had how many rape reports in 2014?
Zero.
Zero. I've been desperate.
That's bad for business. They need their Title IX money.
So the Washington Post said, the headline was something like, X% of colleges had 0% rape, in 2014. Here's why that's troubling.
They're not being reported.
Exactly. And then they're like, well, we know 0% isn't 0%, but you know what else 0% isn't? 1 in 5. It's clearly
okay, let's make it 10 cases. That's infinitely more than 0.
I've been trying, not because I have some sick interest in sex crimes, but I've been trying my hardest to find a single college in the United States of America that has a sexual assault rate anything close to the 1 in 5. Because, I understand how averages work, because I'm a conservative, so I know how numbers work.
Right.
So I'm thinking to myself, right, averages. Now, everyone watching knows how averages work. Averages, you take a bunch of stuff and you add it all together into a division, and you get the average, right?
Yep, got it.
We know that. So if the average across colleges in America is 1 in 5, let's say, be generous, because I think it's 1 in 3, 1 in 2 today, who knows. If it's 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted, there must be either one of two options: either a spread of colleges around that brings the average here,
right, where it's 1 in 2,
or every college is exactly that,
right,
or there are most colleges underneath, and then like 3 colleges where 100% of women are. So this is just how maths works.
It's true, yeah.
And the way that math works, you would expect if you surveyed, let's say, 100 colleges, to find one college remotely close to 1 in 5. Can't find one.
I want to see the dean of that school where 100% of the women get raped. Look, I realize that 100% of our students get raped.
Definitely Hillary.
We have a great STEM program. We have a great journalism program. Some of these girls are only getting raped once their entire college career.
But you know, it would be a liberal arts college. You know, there'd be Bernie supporters.
Yeah,
definitely. You just know.
Definitely.
It would be a tiny liberal arts college. And this is the thing. You know, liberals are telling us now that places that have been run by liberals for 30 years are now hotbeds of racism, sexism, and rape.
Right.
Maybe it's time for a change.
Well, speaking of racism, if you took spring break, the spring break we were talking about on Hannity's show, where rape is so rampant and so many girls are doing oxy and getting gangbanged that they don't even consider it rape because they're fucking high on heroin, basically.
Well, we've all been there. I was that girl.
Even in that crazy scenario, you're not going to get 1 in 5.
No.
You're going to get maybe 10 a day
because there are
out of
so
1,000
many
people.
Girls, you know?
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, there are colleges that are quote unquote notorious for having high rape rates. I go in there and it's something like 1 in 200 or 1 in 220.
Right.
Too high, not cool. Yeah. Nothing to congratulate.
Rape is bad, for the record.
Nothing to congratulate yourself about. But here's the point about all this reporting in the media. We know rape is bad. You don't need to make up lies, bullshit statistics, or twist positive facts like basically no one got raped in 2014.
Right.
Half the schools.
That's not troubling.
Half the schools. That's not troubling. That's awesome. You know? Yeah. Like, why are these people not saying, look, we've been fighting for 30 years and we won? Why? Because it puts them out of business.
Well, this is what brings us back to this talk today. And this whole shooting is, we're the only ones that like you.
Like, you stupid faggots.
And ladies, we're the only ones that don't rape you.
Queers, like, why are you doing this? They don't like you. They want to kill you.
You hate rape? Come to America. You hate homophobia? Come on in.
You hate homophobia.
We are hotbeds of not homophobia and not rape.
We're hotbeds of tolerance.
Hotbeds of tolerance. Hotbeds of friendliness. Hotbeds of freedom.
Hotbeds of equality.
There is a freedom epidemic going on across this country.
It's disgusting.
We have to stop it.
There are viewers who will not find that positive. If there are any alt-right people watching who are like, no more freedom. No more equality for women and gays. Women should be in the custody of their father and then their husband.
Yes.
Well, fine. They're the people who should be moving to the Middle East, not feminists.
Well, that happens too. We have these jihadists. We have these feminists who convert. And you see this white woman in Britain with British accents and their fucking dumb hijab on.
And they're always ginger.
There was ginger jihadis, yeah.
He said that.
A lot of Welsh for some reason.
But yeah, Samantha Lewthwaite, who is known as the White Widow, who has churned through black boyfriends. I feel a common spirituality with her, actually. Although they all ended up dead. Mine just were in an Uber back to the ghetto. But
you both walk funny.
No, we just kiss. That's all we do. No, it's true. You know, I'm Catholic. Well,
that's kind of a scoop. We're breaking on the show. So with your obsession with black, did you suck them off? You don't let them fuck you in your ass?
That's not true, of course I do.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, actually.
From now on, I'm going to introduce you as Milo and his poor ass.
But if you, like me, want to be free to put whatever you want up your bottom.
If you want your anus to look like a baby yawning, come to America.
Come to America, where it's okay. Where it's not just okay, but you will get flattered and pandered to and mollycoddled and told that we're told by the gay lobby that gays are born this way, which is of course a lie. But if that's true, you live in a country where you get celebrated, you get rewarded for being what you are. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's literally illegal not to hire you.
You don't have to do anything or achieve anything. You don't have to study. You don't have to have a long career. You don't have to do anything positive with your life. All you got to do is suck a dick. And in America, you're like the crowning
That's an
glory of
identity.
civilization.
Yeah, you're black all of a sudden.
Right? No, all you got to do is suck a dick. And this is the great glory of America.
Come on in, suck a dick. Let's take a 90-degree turn here.
Who wants you to suck a dick?
What are we going to do when they say the whole fucking NRA scapegoat? And what I would say to that is, I went to Paris after Bataclan, and God, I'm sick of these love platitudes. Love will cancel all, and I'm carrying a fucking pencil, and I have a hashtag, and all these bullshit platitudes. But in France, guns have been completely 100% scrubbed from their minds. Even the far right, it never occurred to them to have a gun.
We're never gun culture in France.
And they still wouldn't blame Islam. So I'm going to say, if anyone brings it up today, it's a nation of cucks in Britain. I mean, in France and Britain, but especially Paris. You're using these guns as a scapegoat. If we took the guns away, you'd have some other problem. In fact, this is jihad. They prefer bombs.
And indeed, they have other things. They say, did you see Think Progress, which I read for comedy? You know, like if you're feeling sad.
I find it physically painful to read.
Yeah, so I read it when I'm feeling low. You know, if I check my bank account and I've gone like below $250,000 or something, you know, and I'm like,
oh, I hate when that happens.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Oh,
terrible. I know.
I wouldn't know, but I could imagine it must be horrible.
It's awful. You know, or something like that happens. You know, the salon runs out of my favorite hair pomade or something. You know, I read Think Progress, and on Think Progress yesterday they said the key to understanding this shooting was toxic masculinity.
Amazing, amazing. Well, it really is the problem with equality, because they'll say homophobia is sweeping the planet, and you go, well, kind of, but not here.
Yeah, I mean, it is insofar as Islam is spreading.
Yeah. Well, I just saw a commercial on TV, and they said 43% of the people in the world are under 25. And you go, yeah. You can't say stats like that without the racial component. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about thousands of starving children in Africa, millions.
Not here.
And you're not talking about American citizens. We're not breeding.
I wrote a column.
We're not the same.
I wrote a column. It was one of my best ever, you know, up against stiff competition.
What's it called? Let's pull it up.
It is called Time for Gays to Get Back in the Closet. And my argument, which I think you're going to be behind, is that gays not breeding has been socially disastrous. Since gays are emancipated, they no longer have children. Like in the 50s, you'd have a double life. You know, you'd have your wife, you'd have kids, and then at night, you'd go out and do your nocturnal business, you know?
Right.
Now, that was good for a number of reasons. Firstly, because sex is best when it's forbidden and transgressive, you know, and
saucier, naughty.
Of course, and getting the rocks off the park is way hotter than, you know, having some fat husband you hate.
You lucky bastards.
No,
that must be
fantastic.
Fucking great.
Imagine everything being
Imagine a woman waiting in a bush to blow you.
Yes, exactly. Imagine all of your desires and how much hotter it would be if everything you wanted to do was illegal. It's like that thrill you get, well, I imagine you get from doing drugs, I wouldn't know, but that thrill you get from doing illegal drugs, where, you know, half the dopamine hit is, I shouldn't be doing this. You know, well, probably you, but feel bad about everything.
No. I was annoyed when I got here at 1 a.m. last night and there was no Coke. I thought we were going to fucking get...
I don't do that anymore.
Okay, sure, we're on camera. But proceed, please, with the closet.
So the idea is, you know, there are all sorts of disastrous social consequences to gay people being emancipated. They're not breeding anymore. Why is them not breeding anymore a problem? Well, partly because IQ is going down in the US. Did you know this? The mean IQ in the US is
well, I'd love to know the racial component of that data.
I wouldn't know about that, but the mean intelligence in the US is going down. Do you know where the mean intelligence is going up? Russia, China, India, racially congruous countries, right? So IQ is 60 to 80% heritable, and we know that gay people test significantly higher for IQ than the average population. We're smarter than you are. So gay people not breeding at rates of what, 2 to 5% of the population, depending on who you believe about how many gay people there are. That's a not insignificant amount of stupidity that is being unnecessarily introduced to our nation's IQ trajectory by gay people not breeding.
So we need gays breeding again. Well, that's the mentality in Russia is, look, we lost so many people in World War II, so many men. I don't care if you're a fag, fuck chicks. So their homophobia is really sort of a latent, just get to breeding, okay? I can't have you coming in assholes. It needs to be a
when we were like that in the 50s, it was better. You know, sex was better. Now, and I wrote a column everybody knows now, which I always talk about, but I love. basically say, I'm so sick of being pandered to and mollycoddled and cherished by popular culture that it's sort of taken all the fun out of sex for me.
Yeah.
Because it's not forbidden anymore. It's not naughty.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of going straight.
I remember you saying that a long time ago.
Right.
You've become too mainstream.
Yeah. No, I've become too racist. Look, the thing about gay culture that's exciting, that actually is valuable to everybody else, if you can hold your nose and try not to think about the anal sex for a second. The reason that we're... It's okay if you stop now. The reason we're valuable to you is that we are vastly overrepresented in artists, inventors.
Oh, dude.
You know, all that kind of stuff.
Just sell me on gays. It's like Jews. I might have a problem with them, but they are an integral part of the movement.
Well, you know, gay Jew, it's all about me. So listen.
You're a Jew?
You know that.
I didn't know that. I thought you were a Greek. They have Jews in Greece?
Jewish.
Oh, okay.
My mother
No, you can't pick up a magazine, listen to a song, do anything pop culture without fags. And fags, they can go to a movie shoot for 6 months and work on a set. That we can't do that. We have kids. We need you.
Right. And so overrepresented artists, inventors, even generals and politicians, you know?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Almost every class of person that pushes society or culture forward, homosexuals vastly overrepresented in those groups, you see? And the conditions under which gays do their best creative work aren't necessarily having the kind of domesticated life that straight people have, that means that straight people can't do their job. When you insist that gay people get gay married and adopt a child and have like a little 2 up, 2 down, you know, what horrendous house in suburbia and all the rest of it, you're robbing them of their competitive advantage.
You just gave me a brilliant idea. You know what you should do for your talk today? You should appeal to Islam and say, look, I know that gay homosexuality seems odd, but please, Islam, you have to understand we have a lot to offer society. The Christians have learned that we are an asset
because we get
the Christians have tolerated
politics.
Islam. All Muslims, please understand, gays are not your enemy. And that way you get to a little passive-aggressive twist.
You see, Islam doesn't tolerate gays, so their society's in the fucking toilet.
Oh, they're all faggots.
Well, they are. I've never been to Afghanistan. Do you know that there was...
They hold hands in the street. Who holds hands with their bro?
That's a Persian thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's a fag thing is what it is.
No, it is a fag. But you know, in Afghanistan, the American soldiers were told not to report the sounds of screaming young Afghan boys who were being raped by
we should bring that up today. That's us trying to assimilate them, us trying to work with them.
That is just the kind of unnecessarily provocative and inflammatory...
Yeah, and these guys, we've trained them to fight for justice. They hear a boy screaming as he's getting raped in the ass, and their superior officer is going...
Lucky little bitches.
Their superior officer is going, shut up. In fact...
And you got these
there was a Marine killed.
These poor boys from Wisconsin who, like, you know, have never heard anything or seen anything like it in their life, like rocking in their bunk, being like, I've killed people. I have seen heads rolling in front of me. I have seen, you know, cities razed to the ground by drones, but nothing prepared me for the sound. And I'm not really joking. This is a 7-year-old boy screaming in pain and horror, you know. And these guys are our allies.
Our allies. These are our boys. Well, I had a ridiculous argument about that case because there was a Marine who was shot. And I said, they let these fucking people in because these guys have to bring in their little boy toys, their concubines, and that leaves our troops vulnerable. And they said, no. The reason that Marine was shot to death is because that little boy was mad that he hadn't been defended when he was being raped. And I'm like, well, whether you take my side or your side, we still got a pretty shitty situation here.
Yeah, and
we've got mad rapists.
American soldiers, you know, you want a rape culture. It's not at Brandeis. It's not at Cornell. It's not at Rutgers. It's not at, you know, the University of Central Florida. If they want a rape culture, fly east.
Yeah. Fly fucking anywhere. We're the only ones that like you.
It's the ingratitude, you know?
It's a nation of ingrates.
It's the ingratitude that gets me.
Me too.
Know, the space has been made in culture and in society and in public life, and especially on TV. So many fucking queers on TV. Space has been made, you know, in our society for people with dissident, aberrant sexualities, for people of other races, for immigrants, for women who because their brain is broken don't want to have children.
Swan is justifying pedophiles.
Right, women whose brains are broken and don't want children, who think that having a career is a good idea. Or just kidding.
Brainwashed whores, I like to call them.
Well, I like to call them the victims of feminism. All of these people, we welcome them with open arms into society, into public life, into anything they want to do, and we don't just welcome them; we give them preferential access. They get, when you're like, we're in Orlando, we're sort of surrounded by theme parks like Disney World, and also the fast pass you can buy for like an extra $100, so you don't have to queue with everybody else. Well, gay people get born with a fast pass.
Yeah.
Gay people and women and minorities get born with the fast pass, and other people have to pay for it by cutting their cocks off and becoming trans. But we get born with the fast pass. We don't have to queue for anything. We get preferential treatment to everything. Everyone is nice to us. Everyone smiles to us. It's like going through your life really, really beautiful.
Dude, I just got some breaking news on my phone. Your Twitter account has been suspended.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Isn't that fucking amazing?
I was probably mass reporting from the what is it? Arabic Twitter got hold of me today.
Oh yeah, they have troops en masse. I noticed with that, I did that Jesse Hughes interview, and it's got almost as much thumbs down. And you click on the people putting the thumbs down, and their only comment are Arabic comments. They have a whole army.
Yeah. Well, if they mass report enough, I think it sort of triggers them automatically.
Oh right, fucking bastards. Not verified.
Well, and
now banned.
That's gonna be Twitter in arms for a day.
Well, that's throwing me off now. I'm verklempt.
Should bother you more than it bothers me.
Well, I know I'm next, and I like making my little quips.
Oh, you're definitely next. I think it was for the poll, because I did that famous feminism. Would you rather your child was born with A, feminism, or B, cancer?
Yes.
And cancer won 55-45.
Right.
Because 2,000 people voted. So I did another one. America wants women, gays, freedom, or B, Islam. And women, gays, and freedom were winning by quite a significant margin until Arabic Twitter got hold of me this morning, and the started to change, and then I think they've
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's funny how they're using our own technology against us. They're using everything.
It's not ours. The primary investor in Twitter is a fucking Saudi. It's theirs now. They bought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the biggest investor in Twitter, and probably the biggest investor in Facebook, it's that Prince Aloid bin Talal, whatever his name is. The Saudis own Twitter.
Well, it's our technology in that we invented it. We invented tolerance. We invented multiculturalism. We invented political correctness. We invented all this good stuff, or at least that started out seemingly good, and they are twisting it and throwing it back in our faces. And it just makes me so frustrated, because you are playing into the fucking Arab narrative so beautifully that you're actually frustrating some jihadis. I mean, a lot of jihadis were going, excuse me, I busted my ass to pull off Bataclan. Stop not blaming it on Muslims. I screamed Allah Akbar.
I find it amazing when you went to Paris and everyone was the thing they wanted to do was express solidarity with Muslims and
God,
all this kind of stuff. And it's that kind of suicidal attitude, that sort of willing embrace of death, which I think has become characteristic of America. Well, it's becoming characteristic of America, and I hope that we can stop it. But it is now part of the character of that continent of Europe.
Yes.
The willing embrace of death. You walk around the streets, everyone is miserable, everyone is sort of willing it to be over.
Yeah, good point. It's like this ethnomasochism where, and I've talked to people when I go, you're being replaced, and they go, good. We don't need more white people. We've ruined the world. And I just think, can you imagine a Japanese person saying that?
Yeah.
Or a Mexican? Or a fucking Ugandan?
Chinese or Russian? Or
no
Indian.
one talks like this.
Nobody talks like that.
Asian Gavin, I'm going to let you get back to the show. I would like to thank Nero for appearing on said show. And we're going to come back shortly with Faith Goldie.
Faith Goldie.
Yes.
Milo, thank you very much. And Gavin, thank you very much. It's great to hear from you guys. Wow.